have all kinds of stuff. I got these at a thrift store. I got a lot of stuff at a thrift store. Got all the stuff you need. This little cart's like only $50, I think. Comes in really handy. Electrical stuff. This is actually for testing wires. It's actually really handy to have. Safety pins for back probing. Pretty much everything you ever need. Just random stuff, some batteries. I just realized I just bought some more of those without needing them. And all kinds of stuff. Jaw puller set, axle nuts, axle nut sockets. This is all the gloves you could ever need, all the cleaning stuff you'd ever need. You got some auto body stuff, some pullers, heat gun. That's actually coming very handy for auto body work. These are actually for cleaning. So you just attach them to your drill and you go to town. Oh, it's messy. Here's my other. This is a 1/2-inch impact. I only need that for axle nuts and lug nuts sometimes. Other than that, this thing, I use this more than anything else. Just a regular Craftsman 3/8. That's the best one ever. This is super handy as well. Both of these, so the creeper and that thing's awesome, especially since I was diagnosed with psoriatic arthritis. I can't bend my knees down all the way anymore. This thing's super helpful. I can just sit on it when I need to change my tires out. All kinds of stuff. Some paint markers, vacuum tester. Testing everything. Brake fluid tester, antifreeze tester. Got my 3/8 torque wrench. I've never used that. Oh, actually, I think I have, because it's inch pounds instead of foot pounds. Just impact. Taking temperature of things is actually kind of fun. 100 degree, yeah, it's really hot out right now. It's like 98, I think. For angles, I love some of these old school tools. I think I got that for like 50 cents at a thrift store. For my old Honda, soldering. This thing is a piece of crap, it doesn't work. This, I think, is, oh yeah, precision knife. This is actually a micrometer. This thing's awesome. I don't know why Harbor Freight gets so much crap. It's hard to open things with one hand. Because this thing has lasted me like 13 years. It still works great. It does its job. It's for measuring really, precision small stuff. It's awesome. Polishing. I haven't actually used that yet. I forgot I even had that. What is that? Oh, for 1/4-inch sockets, it looks like. This shop manual for my old CB7 93 Accord. I used to make nunchucks when I was a kid. I would sell them online. Those are light version bamboo. Oh boy, I probably never figured out how to do it correctly. I just sort of tied it the best way I knew how. I mean, who knows if that's even the right way to do it, but that's what worked for me. I just sort of figured out how to drill the holes, and I would actually chisel out the, what do you call it? I would chisel it out myself. Dead blow hammer. This is great if you need a hammer. If you need to hammer something, you don't want to damage the surface. It's got some, you hear that? Hammers for everything. Brushes are really good for applying grease. All kinds of other things. A bunch of other stuff you could use. Did we go over everything in there? Yeah, we did. What's next? Ooh, these long screwdrivers, super handy if you need to all kinds of different things. Like if you want to put it down your cylinder bore to test when it's at top dead center. Also, you could use a long screwdriver like this to push your brake pedal down using your seat. It's a trick to do that when you're bleeding a clutch system or something like that. You usually don't need oil filter wrenches, but I had a really bad one last year. I ended up having to go get like all the oil filter wrenches known to man. This is the one that ended up doing the job, though. Because usually I just get them off by myself. These are 120 years old, passed down from my great-grandpa, and they work better. They actually work better than my newer ones. Random clamps. That's actually for a fork. That's a what do you call it? A fork. This is a lot of drywall stuff, and this is wallpaper scraper, other kind of scraper, all the sandpaper you'd ever need for auto body. These are great for cleaning. All this stuff. Honda Bond, nothing beats Honda Bond. If you want a really good sealer, or for gasket, putting on your gasket, nothing beats Honda Bond. It's amazing. Honda makes just absolute, like, outstanding products. Same with Toyota. These are also super handy, cleaning off like gasket material, things like that. I think these are actually screw remover set. I can't open it right now. This is actually a cover I created for this saw. I created it because this saw didn't come with a cover, so it's just a flush cutting saw for when you need to cut something flush. I can't remember when I created that. But then it broke, so I just like wrapped it with. It split, so I wrapped it with some rope. It's really hard to do this with one hand. I'm gonna do that later. Bunch of drill sets. This was my grandpa's drill set. It's still the best one I have. I tell you, they used to make stuff way better back in the day. This is my what do you call it? Buffer. Whenever I want to do auto body stuff, saw, sanding stuff, bunch of crap. This thing has lasted forever too. That charges all my Craftsman batteries. This is for testing your battery fluid. This is for older cars for setting the timing. Cars before '96, and they still have distributors. This is pretty useful as well if you need it. Check for a blown head gasket. I used to be super into working on cars. Pretty much done everything known to man. This I got for like $5 at a thrift store. It's a scope. Works super well too. That's a clamp, a special clamp for cutting certain things. All kinds of sets. I got ball joint removal set. Pretty sure that's what this is. Yeah, that's for ball joints and for some other things too. And this is actually this comes in super handy too. Everything Harbor Freight. I mean, most of this stuff's Harbor Freight. It works just fine for me. They get a hard time from people, but maybe you probably wouldn't want to do Harbor Freight if you're doing it for a living because you're using your tools every day. But for a DIYer, it's perfectly fine. It's actually a slide hammer. I have a bigger one for pulling out, auto body. It's my drill set. Don't have enough hands to open that right now. This is, I don't know what that is. Sharpening stuff. It actually works really well for sharpening knives and stuff. And what else we got? Oh yeah, that's in my car. It's code reader. I can basically do anything I want. What else we got here? My old sai. I was really into Japanese martial arts when I was a kid. It gets a lot of hate ever since jiu-jitsu. But there's actually a conspiracy behind that a little bit. It was set up at the UFC in 1992. They specifically set up so to make karate and everything else look bad. It gets a bad name, but the old school karate, I mean, those guys know how to fight. So trust me on that one. I was in this like old school martial arts studio. Let's see. This thing is awesome. I hardly ever use this, but it's handy for like smaller spots. It's messy because I just got done changing my oil and stuff. And This is a Honda tool. This is a stethoscope, actually, automotive stethoscope. Super handy. It's an old tool set. This is something I made, actually, for my funnels to drain into the drain pan. I couldn't find places to put my funnels, so it's supposed to be like this. Everything you could possibly need. All kinds of old. Those are brake parts. It's actually for cooling. Pretty much everything you could possibly need. This set right here. Another. This is just random junk. I used to use this toolbox when I would go to junkyards. This is an old thing. It's heavy. Nut splitter. This is ball joint separator. Snap ring pliers. This is also for sharpening. Files. These are really good if you want to have line wrenches when you're working with lines. And I got all the attachments too for. This used to be where all my sockets were. I got some O2 sensor sockets, some chisels, air hammer bits. This is mostly brake stuff. This is actually a special tool for a 93 Honda Accord, adjusting the valves. This thing's super handy too. Fill my own tires. Alright, that's pretty much it. I got my ramps up there. This little garage has come in super handy. Get my all the rags I could ever need. This is actually for my laptop. It cools it down. Got that for like $5 at the thrift store. All my rags, another drain pan, cool light. It's my buffer. This is actually at my old job. I was stocking wine and they would let us keep these cool ass boxes. I just store all my shit in it. Super freaking awesome. Old safe that doesn't have anything in it. That's the one that my ex had the code to. She'd steal from me all the time. Alright, so that's it, guys. Oh, and my vise. I love my vise. So anyway, this is for testing batteries. That's about it, guys. I got this thing. This thing's super cool too. I haven't even taken it. I haven't opened it up yet. I don't even really need to. But ever since I was diagnosed, that's really helpful. So anyway, this also was like $5. I don't know why people hate thrift stores. I've noticed it tends to be NJs and some SJs. It's like they think they're too good to go to a thrift store. But I mean, I get all kinds of good deals. This is actually also to the old Honda. I used to do a lot of work on that car. I was tearing it apart and rebuilding it. It's an intermediate shaft. I used to love working with bearings and stuff like that. I was fascinated with stuff like that. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching.